All right, guys, what's going on? Today, we're going to be going through our foot and ankle care and some different things that we're going to kind of use and some good at-home tips for you. The big thing with ankles and feet generally are when we work on them, people just think oh, well, I'm just kind of strengthening this vanity muscle of the calf. But what I always tell people was I have really bad right ankle problems from a history of spraining it in basketball. And it's always been really tight for me. And what happens is when I go down to go into a squat, I run out of my ankle range of motion. And that causes me to twist under load. I start to lean and go towards my favorable side, which is more mobile. And then when we start to do that a lot, either through repetition or weight with a lot of intensity, what starts to happen is our hips, our back, we're going to start to have all these issues go upstream because of a bad foot or a bad ankle. And so we see a lot of people have bad function in their foot and ankle. And so this is something that we really want to work on, right? If we spend all day in shoes, that's not good for us. If we never work on stretching it or strengthening it, it is the foundation of everything that we do when we're standing. And so if we have weakness there, everything that we do when we're standing, whether it's a clean, a jump, a run, a sprint, a squat, a deadlift, all that stuff is weaker because our kind of pedestal or our foundation is not functioning properly. So if you guys find that this is a weakness, if it's something that you struggle with through all of our different tests and ways that we kind of work on it, I'm going to give you guys a couple tools and tips that really helped me. And this actually, for a lot of time, fixed a lot of my back problems. So it's something that I still work on a lot. And the first is just opening up some space. So we mash our feet into these tight shoes. We sit all day, and all that stuff does is tighten up all of our heel cords, our feet, our ankles, our calves, everything that kind of runs in through there. So the first thing we're going to do is just smashing a little bit. And so I like a golf ball. It's very pointed. There's a lot of other mobility balls. You can use a lacrosse ball also if you guys have that. You can see just through the size difference, we can get a little bit more acute with the golf ball. And when we do this, we're always standing and trying to put weight on as much as we can. And I like to kind of raise my toe and start at that arch. For me, that's always the nastiest position. But you can also spend some time going through your heel and going all the way up in and around that toe position. Okay. Usually about a minute to a minute and a half on a clock is where we need to be to start to make some difference there. And even just doing this, I played basketball today, and this is pretty nasty. So this would be really good for me to do today also. Now, we can then obviously do the other side. And I like to start here because this opens up space for us. And that's really what we're trying to do, is open up space for both performance and for flexibility training. So this is kind of a good just self-myofascial release, commonly kind of said SMR. Really just learning how to kind of massage and open up some of this space on your own is really key. Now, once we feel like we've smashed a little bit, we can do a little bit more active position work. So this is where I like to work some eccentric lowers. And really when we're talking about eccentric lower, what we say is we're lengthening the muscle. And so we're going to do that slow and under control. Now, if you guys have weak feet or weak ankles, this is probably going to be hard for you to control with a single leg. So you would want to do a double leg version. So you'd start here and you're going to just lower as far as we can. And then I'm grabbing onto the rig to help assist myself back up. But if you're strong enough, you can just go through that calf raise. Now we're looking for somewhere around a 5 to 6, maybe 7 second smooth, controlled lower. And then back up. Now, if you guys are really strong there, you can go with a single leg version. And you can go all the way up onto that very tippy toe. Slow, controlled down. Back up with the single leg. Or you can just focus on the eccentric, bringing that other leg to assist. So that's kind of like tier 2. And that's pretty hard if we're doing that for 8 reps. Tier 3 is you can grab onto something. You can hold a dumbbell, hold a band, whatever we want, right? This band is gonna be really aggressive for this. And then nice, slow, and controlled. Now I'm definitely gonna need help in that calf raise portion. This is really pulling me down. And you can tell it gets very hard, very quickly on that ankle. And I feel that a lot just after 2 or 3 reps there. So this is a really good one to start to strengthen up some of those heel cords, those foot tendons, and working into that lower calf region. So I definitely recommend these as sort of a staple of our calf and ankle work. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is a staple of our program, and it is the tib raise. And so really what we're working on is flexing and dorsiflexing that ankle, okay? And just like we talked about last week, when we hip flex, the ability to do that, if you guys did that mobility, is going to open up range of motion for us to pull ourselves or flex ourselves down into a squat. You're flexing the hip by strengthening that hip flexor. You're going to open up the ability to sit down into a stronger squat position or pull yourself down to a faster squat if you're doing something like a squat clean. The same is going to be true with our ankle. The faster and the stronger and the more powerful we can flex it, the better that's going to help us when we do something like a pistol, where we really need to that big ankle dorsiflexion to be able to push that knee forward. And you can see I really struggle in that range of motion down there. But the better you get at flexing and getting into that dorsiflexion position, the better off you're going to be. So there's two ways that we can do this. We can work with a band, and this is where I started a lot when I was doing my rehab work on this. Start in tension and just work on pulling against the band, pulling into flexion. And I feel that a lot. And you guys can probably see those muscles really working. And that little hold at the top is really good for us because that's the range of motion we need to really be training. So that's kind of our first step. And then our second step would be to do a standing tib raise. So you lean back a little bit and work on here, okay? Now there is a third tier with this, which is to do a weighted tib raise, but you need a special kind of utensil or a special tool for that. Now, we worked then the front of the ankles, we worked the back of the ankles, we worked the feet, all those things. That's all gonna help strengthen that position, open up ranges of motion. The last thing that I always like to make sure that I put a little focus on is the slant board or a little bit of a calf raise stretch. So for me, I like to pop on and I like to just sort of lean myself forward. Or if you can, if you have enough of aggressive bump, so you can like take a plate and you can put it under this. Or I'm gonna link down below in the description the slant board that we get from Amazon. And this one's really popular because it's adjustable. And so then you can adjust it all the way to where it's really aggressive and you can just lean against the wall. I like to start my days with this. I'll drink a little coffee, do it right before I go to bed, helps loosen up those ankles. And all that does is just make your squat feel a million times better, more open, takes pressure off your back, all the good stuff. Thanks, guys.